What's good, guys? Welcome back to the last minute predictions, guys, where we break down each and every single one of these matchups. We have 11 fights on this card. Unfortunately, only one person missed weight. That was Lucas Alexander, only fighter to miss weight, 148.5 pounds. We're going to be going over each and every single one of these fights, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. So let's get into it, guys. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, guys. We're going to get into each and every single one of these props. If you guys want an in-depth breakdown, go watch my prediction video or go watch 6 best bets and lock of the week, guys. You guys gave it so much love. Appreciate you guys for being here. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Obviously, we know Jamal Pogues versus Hamdy Abdelwahab. Hamdy Abdelwahab earlier was a plus 114. Jamal Pogues was a minus 146. Now, when we look at this fight, Hamdy Abdelwahab is a minus 122 and Jamal Pogues is a plus 104. When we look at this fight, obviously the first Egyptian in the UFC Olympic wrestler, obviously one of his best alkaloids, going up against Jamal Pogues, a guy who can win this fight. This is a pick'em, obviously just judging by the odds. This is you can flip a quarter on this fight and whoever heads or tails will probably prevail. But I will say, guys, this is a fight where Hamdy Abdelwahab might need to clinch, get him against the cage, stall out for a little bit and slow down the pace. Jamal Pogues has a very good output, and he has way better volume, and he has way better pace, but he doesn't have that much power. He had 7 takedowns on his first fight in Dana White Contender Series, and he just beat Thomas Petersen, who's also fighting Shamil Gaziev, who we know. But we're going to talk about the props, so let me break it down for you guys. Over 2.5, minus 270. Under 2.5, plus 200. I like the over 2.5 for me. Fight ends by points, minus 230. Fight ends by KO, plus 250. There is a possibility where this fight ends by submission, but I don't think it's that likely. But nothing is impossible. Fight goes the distance. Yes, at a minus 215. No, at a plus 168. I prefer, out of all the props that I just listed, this fight to go the distance at a minus 215. I like it, and it's parlayable. Jamal by points, plus 185. Hamdy by points, plus 180. Hamdy by TKO, plus 500. Jamal by TKO, plus 550. Seems like the bookies are favoring Hamdy to win this fight. Hamdy by KO or on points, double chance, minus 105. Hamdy by submission or points, plus 135, just in case. Jamal by KO or points, plus 105. Jamal by sub or points, plus 150. I am on Hamdy Abdelwahab. He was on my 6 best bets. I'm on him just money line. I'm just going to take a money line. I'm going to take this fight to go the distance at a minus 215. And I'm going to take the double chance Hamdy by KO or on points at a minus 105 just to reduce the odds a little bit. So give me Hamdy to win this fight by unanimous decision. Should be a crazy fight to start off the UFC Saudi Arabia card. And it should be a little bit of a sloppy one too. So let's get into it. Next fight, let's go. I just have to get the exact frame by frame just to avoid copyright. Here we go. Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. Earlier in the week, Bogdan Grad was a minus 120. Lucas Alexander was a minus 106. Now they flipped. Bogdan Grad is a minus 104. Lucas Alexander is a minus 112. Bogdan is always well-rounded. But when we look at the face-offs, you can see Bogdan Grad looks a little small. We can see why the odds are changing as we speak. This fight is going to be one of those fights where it's going to be relentless, non-stop output. Bogdan, in my opinion, has 11 stoppages, but usually he goes to decision. Lucas is more dangerous, but if Bogdan can win, control the pace, slowly work his kicks, he can win by decision, but very low confidence. I'm going to be going with my boy Bogdan Grad. Obviously, we know the height, reach, the length, everything is on Lucas Alexander. Just look at him. He looks like the taller fighter. He looks like he's in a different weight class. But with that being said, guys, I think he should be able to slow down this pace and win by unanimous decision. We're going to go over each and every single one of these props. Alexander by KO, plus 300. Alexander by points, plus 250. Grad by points, plus 370. Grad by KO, plus 320. Will this fight go the distance? Yes. Plus 110. No, minus 140. I like that this fight doesn't go the distance at minus 140. Over 2.5, minus 118. Under 2.5, minus 108. I'll take the over 2.5 at a minus 118 just because I'm taking that this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 140. So I'm contradicting myself, but in order for one of them to cash. Fight ends by KO, plus 110. I like that a little sprinkle right there. Fight ends by points, plus 100. I don't know if you guys want that. Fight ends by sub, plus 650. And then this is the double chance. Grad by KO on points, plus 125. Lucas by KO on points, minus 115. Give me Bogdan Grad. And give me Bogdan Grad by points at a plus 370. Give me this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 140. And then I'll take the over 2.5 at a minus 118. And then just to go a little crazy, give me Bogdan Grad by KO on points at a plus 125. So I'm going to repeat those all over again. Grad by KO on points at a plus 125. I'll take the over 2.5 at a minus 118. And then I'll take Grad by points at a plus 370. And then this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 140. So it's a little bit of crazy, but I put them all in a parlay. Give me Bogdan Grad to win this fight, specifically by KO on points at a plus 125. Let's go, my guy. Let's fucking go, Bogdan Grad, just to destroy Lucas Alexander. Let's go. We'll see how it ends up, though. Let's go, my guy. 613. Obviously, we have an ad in front of us. Now, this is one of those fights where it's an absolute banger, guys. It's an absolute banger. We have Jasudavicius versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Jasudavicius was a minus 230. Mayra Bueno Silva was plus 176. Now, Jasudavicius is a minus 260, and Mayra Bueno Silva is a plus 215. Obviously, we know this is one of the first UFC women's fight on Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, it's going to be one of those banger fights. Jasmine's a hard wrestler, sometimes gets hate because of her lackluster performances, and if this one is another lackluster performance, a lot of people will hate on her even more. Mayra Bueno Silva is just coming off of the loss to Macy Chiasson, where it was a vicious cut, brutal cut, where the doctor was forced to stop it. I always look at momentum, and sometimes it doesn't always work, but with who has been more consistent is Jasmine. She has a blueprint. She should be able to win this fight by unanimous decision, but we're going to go over each and every single one of these props. Jasmine by points, minus 140. Silva by points, plus 460. Silva by sub, plus 700. Jasmine by sub, plus 1,000. Jasmine by KO, plus 800. Not really likely. Silva by KO, plus 1,500. I think if there's a KO, maybe Jasmine can get one by ground and pound. But Silva is a finisher. She's a relentless finisher. Who's to say she can't get a TKO? Fight goes the distance. Yes, at a minus 290. No, at a plus 215. Over 2.5. Obviously, we know the over 2.5 is absolutely juiced. Juiced to the absolute grills. But I think the over 2.5 is pretty good. Obviously, though, the over 2.5 being a minus 360 is absolutely insane. Under 2.5 plus 250. We know the under 2.5 cashed with Ariana Lipski. Her fight with Jasudavicius. She was able to get her in a Darce choke. Fight ends by points minus 300. Fight ends by sub plus 440. Fight ends by KO plus 550. Jasmine by points minus 210. Jasmine by submission on points minus 190. Jasmine by KO on points, minus 210. Jasmine by submission on points, minus 190. Mayra by sub or points, plus 250. Mayra by KO or points, plus 350. When I look at this fight, guys, I like the double chance. Jasmine by submission or on points at a minus 190. Obviously, the KO could be a factor, but Jasmine's not likely to get a KO. And then I like this fight to end by points. Will this fight go the distance? Obviously, yes, at a minus 290. And then just give me method of victory, guys. Just give me Jasudavicius by points at a minus 140. I'll take that. Jasudavicius by points at a minus 140. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 290. And Jasudavicius by submission on points at a minus 190. Those are my three best props for this fight. Now we're going to go up the card, guys. Let's fucking go. This is by far one of my favorite fights on the entire card, and I get to wake up, eat breakfast while I'm watching this fight. Terrance McKinney versus Damir Hadžović. Terrance McKinney's minus 460 earlier in the week. Damir Hadžović was a plus 320. Now Terrance McKinney shot all the way up to a minus 590, and Damir Hadžović is a plus 430. When I look at this fight, guys, Terrance McKinney might be the biggest favorite, if not the biggest favorite on the entire card. The best way to describe McKinney is a mystery box. You guys know already. The mystery box, we don't know what we're going to get. Is it going to be by KO, or is it going to be by submission, or is this another fraud check? In my opinion, if you lose to a guy like Damir Hadžović, there's something wrong with you and you should be cut from the UFC. This is one of those fights where, of course, a guy like Terrance McKinney would be able to lose this fight, but we have to give everything and the best performance of McKinney. We have to look at it like that, and we have to see what Terrance McKinney is going to bring to the table. What does his tools bring? He's matched up against Damir, a relentless wrestler who just lost to Moicano, currently just lost to Mark Jacasey, where he was taken down 8 times. If Damir can't get the fight to the ground, he's in trouble. I'm going to tell you guys my best props. Fight goes the distance. Fight to go the distance. This is one of the biggest favorites. For this fight to go the distance, no at a minus 850, yes at a plus 530 is absolutely insane. Throw that out the window, too much juice. Terrance by sub plus 110, might want to sprinkle. Terrance by KO plus 200. Excuse me, guys, just ate. Terrance by KO plus 200, I would love to sprinkle that. That's by far one of my favorite props. I think it's more likely than the submission, but it seems like the bookies are favoring the submission at a plus 110. Terrance by points plus 1,000. You never know, this could go to the decision. Damir by points plus 1,100. If Terrance McKinney is just a shell of his former self. Damir by KO plus 750. Terrance by KO or sub minus 340. I like that a lot. I expect him to finish this fight inside the distance. So instead of taking that this fight doesn't go the distance, I'll take Terrance McKinney by KO or submission at a minus 340. Terrance by KO on points plus 150. Terrance by submission on points minus 125. Damir by KO on points plus 480. Over 1.5 plus 180. Under 1.5 minus 235. It's going to be a little bit of a risky Hail Mary type prop night. I'm going to tell you guys my best props. Terrance by KO or submission minus 340. Over 1.5 at a plus 180. And then I'm going to be taking, and I know the over 1.5 barely hits, but I'm reaching. I'm going for a Hail Mary. So Terrance McKinney by KO or submission minus 340. Over 1.5 at a plus 180. And then give me Terrance McKinney by KO or on points at a plus 150. And then just to go a little crazy, I'll go Terrance by submission on points at a minus 125. And the reason why I'm taking both double chances is because you get more value. And if you put them in different slips, you never know. Let's say he gets a submission and he's not able to get the KO. The one that doesn't get the KO, it crashes. But we get more value on the submission or on points. So I like Terrance McKinney by submission or on points at a minus 125. Terrance McKinney by KO or on points at a plus 150, just in case. And then Terrance McKinney by submission or by KO or submission at a minus 340. And then I'll take the over 1.5 at a plus 180. Let me know what you guys think. Is Terrance McKinney going to get a first round KO? If he doesn't, we still cover for the value. Now we're going to go to the next fight. Here we go. I'll go Terrance McKinney, and I'll go by round 2 KO. So I'm a little bit playing with fire, but we do it. We go all in. Let's go. Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Petersen. Shamil Gaziev was a minus 390. Thomas Petersen was a plus 280. Now when we look at this fight, Shamil is a minus 340 and Thomas Petersen is a plus 275. So there's some value still to be made on Shamil Gaziev. Everybody calls him the Blob, but I'm not going to do that to him. He's matched up against Thomas Petersen, who's a decent wrestler, looking for a body lock to wrestle, always clinches, closes distance, clinches against the cage. Petersen is a takedown or bust type fighter, just won by decision over Muhammad Usman, where I personally picked against him in his last fight, so this will be a tricky fight. Shamil he's had to be working on his cardio. I saw him go a full 15 minutes against Dontel Mays, but I think Shamil needs to fight at his own pace in order for him to control his cardio. If he's fighting at a high output pace, you can kind of push him to his limits. Let's go over all the props. Shamil by KO plus 130. Shamil by points plus 260. Shamil by sub plus 700. Petersen by points plus 550. Petersen by KO plus 800. Fight goes the distance, yes, plus 148. No, minus 190. I like that this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 190. Over 2.5 plus 118. Under 2.5 minus 150. We're playing with fire with that under 2.5. I don't think I'm going to touch it. Shamil by KO or sub, minus 125. I like that. It's perfect value. Shamil by KO on points, minus 230. Shamil by submission on points, plus 160. I don't think a submission is likely for Shamil Gaziev. I think if he's going to finish, it's going to be by ground and pound TKO. Petersen by KO on points, plus 320. Petersen by sub or points, plus 440. Fight ends by KO, minus 115. Fight ends by points, plus 140. Give me fight ends by KO. Actually, you know what? Let's get a little bit fancy. Give me Shamil by KO, plus 130. I'll take that this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 190. And just to cover, in case this fight doesn't go the distance, in case this fight goes the distance, I'll take Shamil by KO or on points at a minus 230. So I'll repeat it all over again. Shamil by KO on points, minus 230. Fight Shamil by KO plus 130. And then I'll take this fight doesn't go the distance at a minus 190. So let's go. Let's go. Shamil Gaziev for the win. I'll go round 3 TKO, ground and pound, if not by unanimous decision. Should be an absolute banger fight. And it's about time Shamil Gaziev is getting his win streak back together. I like to see him fight. He's a beast. He's a beast. Let's go. Muhammad Naimov versus Kaan Ofli. This is by far one of my most anticipated matchups on the entire card. Muhammad Naimov was minus 295. Kaan Ofli was a plus 220. Muhammad Naimov is a minus 335, and Kaan Ofli is a plus 270. We know Kaan Ofli just got flatlined by Marion Santos, but I expect him to put a better performance against Naimov. I like Naimov by decision. He needs to stay sharp We see Naimov fight at 155 as well against Malarkey, and his striking should be solid enough, but some could say he was losing that fight against Jamie Malarkey up until he got the KO. I do think Ofli tries to wrestle here. If Naimov can prevent himself from getting controlled, he should win. It's going to be a high anticipated scrambling type match, and I expect this fight just to be fun, fireworks, just for me to sit back, watch, enjoy an absolute banger fight, and take Muhammad Naimov by decision. We do know he just lost to Felipe Lima by submission, but like I always say, guys, Kaan Ofli is nowhere near who Felipe Lima is. So, with that being said, let me read you guys all the props. Naimov by KO plus 135, Naimov by sub plus 950, Naimov by points plus 135. I already spoiled it. I said Naimov by points at a plus 135. I love it. Ofli by KO plus 1,400. Just had to throw that out there. Ofli by sub plus 1,000. Ofli by points plus 490. Fight goes a distance. Yes at a minus 134. No at a plus 106. Honestly, I think this fight goes a distance. I think it should be heavily favored to go the distance, but one thing I'm going to say is the over 2.5 at a minus 166 is also great value. Under 2.5 is plus 130. Naimov by KO on points, minus 240. Naimov by submission on points, minus 105. Ofli by KO on points, plus 360. Give me Naimov by KO on points, minus 240. Give me this fight goes the distance at a minus 134. And give me Naimov by points at a plus 135. Let me know what you guys think. I think Naimov should be able to win this fight by unanimous decision. It's going to be one of those fights where Kaan Ofli is going to be able to perform way better than he did against Mayra Santos, no matter what. Even if this goes the distance, I think he's going to have a better performance than his last fight. And I hope he can eventually get a win and get back into that win column, because that was a vicious knockout against Mario Santos. Give me Naimov by points at a plus 135. Give me this fight goes the distance at a minus 134. And give me Naimov by KO on points at a minus 240. Let's go, my guy. Let's go. Now we go up the card. By far, one of my most anticipated matchups, guys. Obviously, we have to look at this, guys. Women on ads eating. Of course, of course. And of course, it's an unskippable ad, so you guys are stuck here with me. Dave's Chicken, we know Armature you can pull down. He got sponsored by that. Here we go. Here we go. Faris Ziam versus Mike Davis. Faris Ziam is a plus 114 earlier in the week. Mike Davis was a minus 146. Now the odds have gotten a lot closer. Faris Ziam is a plus 118, and Mike Davis is a minus 138. This is going to be an absolute banger matchup. Just KO'd by Matt Frevola in Paris. He just KO'd Matt Frevola in Paris, and that was a brutal KO. Faris Ziam got his first finish inside the UFC. He has beautiful kicks, works the clinch very well, extremely well, and he's a technician. But sometimes he could be timid at times, and obviously we all know he just got his first finish in the UFC. Now he will be matched up against Mike Davis, a decent striker, very well-rounded, 14 takedowns in his last 4 fights. He just finished Natan Levy, who we know Natan Levy wants to fight Bryce Mitchell. Let's do it. Let's do it. Faris by points plus 210. Faris by sub plus 2,000. Faris by KO plus 650. Davis by points plus 180. Davis by KO plus 750. Davis by sub plus 480. Fight goes the distance. Yes at a minus 192. No at a plus 150. Give me that this fight goes the distance. Over 2.5 minus 235. Under 2.5 plus 180. I think the over 2.5 should cash, but I'm taking that this fight goes the distance at a minus 192. Faris by KO on points plus 125. Faris by sub or points plus 175. Davis by KO on points plus 115. Davis by submission on points minus 110. Give me Davis by submission on points at a minus 110. Give me that this fight goes the distance at a minus 192. And give me Davis by points at a plus 180. I don't think Faris Ziam is going to get finished. If he does get finished, more than likely it's going to be something that we don't expect. So it might be a ground and pound TKO or a nice little submission around the neck. But I'm going to be taking Davis. I'm going to take Davis money line at a minus 138. I'm going to take double chance Davis by submission on points at a minus 110. And I'm going to take that this fight goes the distance at a minus 192. And then just give me for the Hail Mary Davis by points at a plus 180. Let's go Davis. He does look very small in this fight though. He looks super small. Super small against Faris Ziam. When these guys fill out, we'll see how they end up looking. But I got Davis to win this fight. Low confidence, but let's go Davis. Let's go Davis by decision. Now, by far, one of my most anticipated fights, guys. You guys know my lock of the week is here. Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. By far, one of my most anticipated fights. Said Nurmagomedov earlier in the week was a minus 205. Vinicius Oliveira was a plus 158. Now, Said Nurmagomedov is a minus 164. Vinicius Oliveira is a plus 138. You guys know, 6 best bets lock of the week. If you guys watched that, shout out to you. Lock of the week is Said Nurmagomedov, money line. Obviously, we already know what these guys have. They were playing ping pong yesterday, and now they're going to be fighting in the cage in less than 24 hours. This fight is by far the people's main event, in my opinion. It's going to be an absolute banger, and I can't wait to see who wins this fight. We know Said Nurmagomedov is an absolute vicious killer with that guillotine. In 5 fights, he has 3 guillotine wins. And his last fight was a win against Mayun Gafurov, who we know just beat Rinya Nakamura. Now he's matched up against Oliveira, dangerous, chaotic striker, super aggressive and creative, who just destroyed Ricky Simon. We're going to read all the props. Said by points, plus 190. Said by KO, plus 750. Said by points, plus 190. Out of all those, I like Said by points at a plus 190. Obviously, we know Said by submission. Let me just check right now. I believe Said by submission is the same as well. We know when we look at this, Said by submission is a plus 330. Said by KO is a plus 750, and then Said by points is a plus 190. Oliveira by KO plus 330. Oliveira by submission plus 2,000. Oliveira by points plus 430. Over 2.5 minus 134. Under 2.5 plus 106. I know a lot of people are taking the under 2.5. They expect Oliveira to find a finish or Said to get a nice little guillotine. Said by KO on points plus 120. Said by submission on points minus 125. Oliveira by KO on points plus 145. And Oliveira by submission on points plus 350. With that being said, I'm going to take Said Nurmagomedov money line at a minus 164. I'm going to take Said by submission on points at a minus 125. And then I'll take the over 2.5 at a minus 134. But I'm playing with fire because this fight might not even go the distance. Give me the over 2.5 at a minus 134. Said by submission on points at a minus 125. And then I'll take Said money line at a minus 164. This is my lock of the week. Let's see if it hits. Let's see if it burns. Let me know what you guys think. I can't wait for this matchup. Let's fucking go, Said Nurmagomedov. Come on. Continue the lock of the week streak, my guy. Continue it. Now we're going to go into this absolute banger matchup. Sergei Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. Sergei Pavlovich was a minus 290. Jairzinho Rozenstruik was a plus 215. Now Jairzinho Rozenstruik is a minus 295. Sergei Pavlovich is a minus 295, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik is a plus 240. With this fight right here, Rozenstruik may have the better footwork, striking defense, but we all know footwork doesn't tend to matter at heavyweight most of the time. It will be a competitive first round, in my opinion. Sergei's biggest fraud check was against Alexander Volkov. Obviously, we know Rozenstruik's a counter striker. This is a pick your poison type of fight. Rozenstruik by decision or KO, or Sergei Pavlovich by KO. I think Sergei's a KO or bust guy. Maybe he can win by decision, but that's not his bread and butter. With that being said, Sergei by KO plus minus 210. Sergei by submission plus 2,200. That's a little bit of a Hail Mary. Sergei by points plus 1,100. Biggie Boy by KO plus 410. Biggie Boy by sub plus 3,200. Biggie Boy by points plus 900. Fight goes the distance. Yes, at a plus 490. No, at a minus 800. We already know. We saw this with the Volkov fight. The under 1.5 was juiced as hell. And what did Volkov do? He took him to a decision. Over 1.5 plus 1. Let me just double check this. Over 1.5 plus 162. Under 1.5 minus 210. I like that. Sergei by KO on points minus 280. Rozenstruik by KO on points plus 250. Give me Sergei by KO on points at a minus 280. Give me the over 1.5 at a plus 169. Actually, it's a plus 162. You know what? We're going to take the under. I was going to take the over. Give me Sergei by KO on points at a minus 280. Give me the under 2.5 at a minus 210. And just give me Sergei by KO at a minus 210. Let me know what you guys think. Does Sergei end up finding the KO? Or does the over 1.5 end up hitting? I recommend it's a pick your poison. You could take both of them in a different slip. I'll take the under 1.5 though, because most of Sergei's wins end in under 1.5. So give me under 1.5 at a minus 210. Give me Sergei by KO at a minus 210. And give me Sergei by KO on points at a minus 280. Just in case it's a sloppy decision. Let's go. Michael Venom Page versus Charles Magomedov. We know this is by far one of the most anticipated fights. Gosh. Khalil Rountree, the guy who sacrificed his soul for Poatan. Alright. Michael Venom Page versus Nurmagomedov, we know this is by far one of my most anticipated matchups. Nurmagomedov was a -192, Michael Venom Page +148. Now, Nurmagomedov is a -198, Michael Venom Page +166. With all this being said, fun fact, Shara has never had a round scored against him in the UFC, even though he got outlanded and stunned a little bit by Petrosian in round 1. I trust the Saudi judges to not let him lose by decision in Saudi. If he can make it close enough, I will actually be very surprised. We know MVP is very fast. MVP is going to have the striking advantage, the height advantage, the reach, the agility, and the speed. Michael Venom Page recently lost to Ian Gary. Everybody who Michael Venom Page fights turns into wrestlers. With that being said, MVP was winning in the striking department, but he was out-grappled and almost rear naked choked by Ian Gary. This will be insanely interesting. MVP super fast, slick, enters the matrix when he fights, and Shara sometimes has his hands low. He has one eye. He can get popped with some shots, and MVP's fast. He might not even be able to catch him. MVP by KO +650, not really likely. MVP by points +290, the more likely out of all of these. MVP by sub +2,200. All right, Shara by KO +310, Shara by points +140, Shara by submission +2,500. In my opinion, I think this is going the distance. I don't think nobody's going to be able to find a finish. I would be surprised if Nurmagomedov finishes Michael Venom Page by KO. I will be super surprised. I think it's a pick your poison. MVP by points +290 or Nurmagomedov by points +140. Over 2.5 -235, under 2.5 +180. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a -190, no at a +148. You guys already know me. 6 best bets bonus was that this fight goes the distance at a -190. Obviously, we know that for it not to go the distance is a +148. But in my opinion, I think it does go the distance. MVP by KO on points +165. Shara by KO on points -185. So give me Shara by points at a +140. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a -290. And then I'll take Shara by KO on points at a -185, just in case it's a little bit of a Hail Mary, Armin Petrosian, double spinning back fist type KO. I'll repeat it one more time. Shara by KO on points -185. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a -190. And I'll take Shara by points at a +140. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have MVP? I'm very low confidence in Nurmagomedov. I'm scared for him, man. I'm scared for him. This is gonna be one of his toughest matchups ever, guys. So let's go. Main event time already. Here we go. Let's hope we don't get an ad. Let's go. By far one of my most anticipated matchups in the entire card, guys. Obviously, it's the main event. Saudi gives us pay-per-views on top of pay-per-views, guys. We have to praise the Saudi Arabians, guys, because we wouldn't have this card without them, guys. Israel Adesanya was a -188. Imavov was a +146. Now, the day before the fight, Israel Adesanya is a -156. Imavov is a +132. Whoever attempts takedowns in this fight is more than likely attempting a takedown out of desperation, and they're more than likely losing the fight. I will expect Imavov to shoot a takedown. He got a takedown on Chris Curtis, and when we look at it from this angle, it looks like Imavov is a little bit taller than Izzy, but then when I look at it from the back angle, Izzy's like a little bit taller when he's standing up straight. I will say, guys, this is by far one of the hardest fights I've ever had to pick. The last 2 strikes that hurt Izzy are right hands from Strickland and DDP. Imavov is a sniper. Izzy's a sniper. This is going to be a striker's delight. Grab your popcorn. Grab everything you want. Grab all your stuff. Grab all your snacks. This is going to be one of my most anticipated fights on the entire card, besides Saeed versus Oliveira. Some say Izzy only beats people that stand there and are watching him. Pressure is what Izzy doesn't do Izzy doesn't do that well with pressure, which is what a lot of people are saying. But we've seen Izzy do good with pressure against Kelvin Gastelum, against a lot of other foes. Even against Jan Blachowicz, he did really good, and he was really light in that fight. Sorry about that, guys. But I do expect this fight to go over 4.5. This is a chess match. Izzy's biggest problem sometimes is his headspace. We got to see where he's at. I will say, guys, this is going to be one of my most anticipated fights. We're going to go over all the props. Let's go. Let's go. Izzy by KO, plus 380. Izzy by sub, plus 2,600. Izzy by submission. Izzy by... Okay, let me read it all over again. Izzy by KO, plus 380. Izzy by sub, plus 2,600. And Izzy by points, plus 140. Imavov by sub, plus 900. Imavov by KO, plus 600. Imavov by points, plus 310. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, minus 174. No, plus 136. You guys know in 6 best bets and lock of the week, the second bonus is that this fight goes the distance at a minus 174. Over 4.5, minus 192. Under 4.5, plus 150. I like the over 4.5. Izzy by KO on points. Let me double check because we know the odds are actually shifting as we speak. So, let me just double check that this is correct. When we look at it, double chance, Izzy by KO on points, minus 160. Izzy by submission on points, plus 125. Imavov by KO on points, plus 170. Imavov by submission on points, plus 200. Izzy by KO rounds 3, 4, or 5, plus 950. Imavov by KO rounds 3, 4, 5, plus 1,500. I think either of these guys can get a late TKO. Imavov gets tired. The body shots are working. Izzy's looking phenomenal. Izzy could get a late 3rd, 4th, 5th round TKO. Imavov is getting some takedowns. Imavov is looking beautiful. Imavov is working. Imavov could get a late 3rd, 4th, 5th round TKO. I think it's good value. Sprinkle either side. I think there's definitely value just in case we take the over. Let's say we take this fight to go the distance. I'm going to be sprinkling one of them to take a KO in 3, 4, and 5. Just in case. We know it's crazy. We know obviously it'll be absolutely insane. The arena, the stadium will go absolutely insane. But with that being said, guys, I have to make my pick. I'm going to go Israel Adesanya, guys. I'm going to go Israel Adesanya. I think he should be able to win this fight, guys. This fight is by far one of the hardest main events that I've ever had to pick. I'm doing an official pick flip for this fight, guys. And I'm going Israel Adesanya, guys. I'm going Israel Adesanya to win this fight, guys. If he ends up losing this fight, then I'll have a better idea of where he's at in the middleweight division. But right now, he's defending his ranking. I think he should be able to have success. He should be able to win 3 rounds out of the 2. And if this fight goes the distance, who's the guy who's better at going 5 rounds? Who has won 5 rounds more than anybody else in their career? And this guy was a professional kickboxer. Obviously, we have to take out all those alkaloids because we have to see if his head game is in the space. If he's not in his prime no more, none of this matters. It doesn't matter how he did against Kelvin Gastelum. It doesn't matter how he did against kickboxing. It doesn't matter how he did against DDP if he's not in his prime no more. But if he is a glimpse of what he was in the DDP fight, not only in the DDP fight, but if he just has to stop slipping. You got to maintain your cardio. Stop slipping everywhere all over the cage. Stop exerting so much energy trying to defend a takedown. You have to have better get-up game, Izzy. The middleweight division is catching up to you, my guy. Are you going to let Imavov catch up to you, or are you going to prevent him from taking your ranking and taking your spot in the middleweight division? What's it going to be, Israel Adesanya? Give me Israel Adesanya to win this fight, and I'll go Israel Adesanya to win this fight by 48-47 split, 48-47 split Imavov, and for the winner by split decision, 48-47 Israel Adesanya, guys. With this being said, I'm going to tell you guys my best props. Israel Adesanya by points, plus 140. Israel Adesanya by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5, plus 950. And then double chance, Izzy by KO on points, minus 160. But I like money line, guys. I like money line. This feels like a Robert Whittaker, Ikram Aliskerov type fight where Robert Whittaker is a minus 150, minus 140. Ikram Aliskerov is plus money. The odds are switching right before the fight. Saudi Arabia, I go with my boy Robert Whittaker. Slight favorite. He ends up prevailing. And we know that they've been training together. Obviously, it's a very different matchup. And Imavov is one of the biggest middleweights, one of the best middleweights, and he could definitely get a takedown, but I expect Izzy to get right back up and perform. Let's go Israel Adesanya. I'm going to repeat my best props. I'm just gonna take Israel Adesanya money line at a minus 156. I'm going to take Izzy by points at a plus 140, and then I'll take Izzy by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5 at a plus 1,500. And obviously, the safety is that this fight goes the distance at a minus 174. I'm going to repeat that all over again. Izzy by KO or on points. Obviously, the double chance is not worth it. So let me say it again. Izzy money line minus 156. Will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 174. Izzy by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to be taking Izzy by points at a plus 140. Those are my props, guys. I'm going to repeat it one last time. Izzy by points plus 140. Izzy money line at a minus 156. Izzy by KO rounds 3, 4, and 5 plus 950. And will this fight go the distance? Yes, at a minus 174. Let me know what you guys think. I think one of my best parlays, guys, is the co-main and main event to go the distance. A nice little 2-leg parlay. Or if you just want to do one single co-main event to go the distance. Let me know what you guys think, guys. Is Adesanya to win this fight by split decision? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys like the video, guys. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Put your alarm clocks. Let's fucking go. Let's get it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, baby. The best is blessed. Let's fucking go. UFC 312 next week and the Super Bowl. I can't ask for a better fucking week. Let's fucking go. See you guys at the top. Let's get it. Peace.